So good morning, all of you. So in our last class, we studied the various data types that are used in defining a database. So, so another command that we'll be learning is the drop table. So in our laboratory exercises, we saw the drop table followed by the table name. So this command is useful in deleting the entire table from the database. So when a table is deleted, all the related data or the data that is stored in that particular table will also get deleted. So when we delete a table, so we can no longer use it in any of the other commands. So as that table does not exist anymore. So apart from this, so there are two additional keywords that can be used along with dropping the table. So one is cascade, another one is restrict. So, so what is the use of this cascade? So as we have discussed the college database, so we had one more table that is admission, where we were referring from this admission table to student table. So admission table had a foreign key that was referring to student table. Now let us consider a scenario where we have a admission for some particular USN, something like this. So let us assume this is the data that is present in the admission table. So some USN followed by the department, then the quota and the PUC percentage. So now what happens when I want to drop this particular student table? What will happen this particular with this admission row? So when student table we want to drop, it is being referred by the admission table, and that particular table is having the data. So if drop table student is successful, then all the data in the student table will be deleted. But what will happen with the data that is present in the admission table? Because if student is deleted, then this particular USN will be present, but their other details like a name, mobile number, email ID, everything will not be present. So which means, so if we think in terms of the meaning of the application, if a student is deleted, then automatically the admission should also be deleted. So that automatic deletion of all the things that are referring to the student table is done using this particular keyword, that is this cascade. So when we use cascade, all the tables or constraints that are referring to this student table will also get deleted. So which means in our example, when we execute this second command, so along with the student table, admission table also gets deleted. Now the second keyword, that is the restrict. So the difference between the restrict and cascade is, so student table will get deleted only if there are no references. There are no active references. So which means if there are no data in the admission table, then the student table gets deleted. So if any data is there in the admission table that is referring to student table, then the student table will not be deleted. So which means if there are no referencing to student table, then it will be deleted. Otherwise, it will not be deleted. So that's the major difference between cascade and restrict. Whereas in Oracle, uh, the first one, that is first one and the restrict, they act same. So the student table will be deleted only and only if there are no references. So whatever commands we learn over here, these are the commands are the features of a relational database. They may not be particularly work with Oracle or MySQL. So next and the foremost important command is the alter table command. So as we saw in our laboratory examples, whenever we were making the modification to the structure of the table, we were deleting the old uh, or dropping the old table and creating a new table. So instead of that, we can use the alter table command. So alter command is used whenever we want to change the structure of the database. So structure of the database includes the attributes, the nature of the attributes, and the constraints that are defined on that particular table. So suppose if I want to add a new attribute. So for a employee table, I want to add new attribute, that is a job. So then instead of deleting the employee table and creating it once again, so we can issue this particular command, that is alter table name, then add, this is the attribute and its data type which we are adding. So alter table name, add, followed by the declaration of that particular attribute. So once this command is executed, so what does it does is it creates a new attribute in the employee table without altering any data. So once this is done, we can next provide the data for the job attribute. So let us consider I have already entered 5 employees, right? After entering 5 employees, I will add a new attribute. Then for this, when I want to insert the 6th employee, I have to provide the data for this job. But what about the remaining 5 which I have already inserted? So for them, we can enter the data or give a value using the update command. Right? Again, we can also specify the default values if you want to give are not null, can be specified as part of constraint specifications. So the other alter table commands include alter table employee. If I want to drop a particular attribute, then we can use drop column job. Along with that, one more keyword is present over there, that is the cascade. So alter table name, drop column, followed by the column name. So additionally, this keyword is can be added, that is cascade. When cascade is added, then all the constraints that are defined on this particular attribute, and if there are any foreign keys referring to this particular attribute, then all of them will be deleted. So just like how we put cascade in the process of dropping a table. So just like that, we can add cascade while dropping the attribute also. Next one, alter table employee, alter column. Suppose if I want to change something in the column itself. So one such is set default. So if employee ID is not entered by the user, then I want to provide a default value. So 111 default value will be given to employee ID. So such statement or constraint can be added using this. So alter table, table name, then followed by so alter column, column name, then what we want to do, set default 111. So how does set default works? So set defaults works only when the user has not provided a data for that particular attribute, then a default value will be inserted. So just like how we declare a variable in C programming and initialize it to some value, just like int x is equal to 5. So if a value is not specified by the user, then 5 is assigned. So just like that, here a value can be assigned. Then if we want to drop a constraint on this particular attribute, then we can use alter table, table name, alter column, employee ID, then drop default. So when drop default is used, then the default values will be dropped, which means no default value assignment will take place. Then if we want to drop a constraint itself, suppose I have declared a primary key on a table and I don't want it to be primary key anymore, then we can issue this particular command. So alter table employee drop. So we are not dropping the column, here it is a drop constraint. So drop constraint. So this is the name of the constraint. Okay. So far we have not discussed how to give a name to the constraint, even though we declared a primary key and foreign key. So we had not given a name. So just like attributes, we can also give a name to the constraints also. So if we don't give a value, uh, give a name to the constraint, then the database software will assign a name by itself. So that name we can use. Otherwise, while creating the table or while altering the constraint, we can give a name to the constraints also. So that can also be dropped over here again. So it comes with an optional keyword, that is cascade. So when a constraint is dropped, then all the other constraints which are referring to this particular constraint will also get dropped. For example, I have declared a primary key in employee table. So emp underscore pk1. So when this is dropped, then all the foreign keys that are referring to this particular uh, attribute will also get dropped. So these are the modification to the schema of the table. See, whenever we issue alter table command, so that will be changing the schema of the table. So that is the header row. So that gets changed. So that's why this alter table comes under DDL. So DDL means data definition language. So create table, drop table, and alter table. So these three comes under DDL languages, that is data definition language. So and this using this alter table command, so we can add a new attribute, uh, drop a attribute, change the data type of an attribute, give a default value, drop the constraints, or we can even set not null also. So any sort of modifications can be done to a structure of the table without disturbing the data that is present in that particular table. So using this alter table commands. So next, we shall look at another concept, that is referential integrity options. So referential integrity means it is the foreign key. So we can specify the following keywords. So along with the specifications of the foreign key, that is restrict, cascade, set null, set default. So consider this department table. So in our company database, we have a department table. So department will be having department name, department number, manager SSN, manager start date. So here the department number is made as primary key, department name should be unique. So and then a foreign key, that is MGR SSN, will be made, and it is referring to employee table. So employee table, within this it should have been SSN, so employee of SSN, so it is referring to SSN of the employee table. So along with that, so we are writing few more keywords. So what happens, suppose for a department number 5, so an employee 88 is the manager. So let us assume this. Now this employee we are deleting. So when an employee is being deleted, so if that employee happens to be a manager of some department, then what should happen with that particular department? So that condition we can write over here. So that is, so foreign key MGR SSN references employee SSN on delete set default. So on delete set default means if this employee SSN is deleted, then this particular attribute will be set to default value. Then on update, so if there is a updation cascade, suppose now this employee 88 will add 880. So employee ID gets changed. So if employee ID gets changed in the employee table, then automatically that will be changed in the department table also. So we need not change at two places. So if you change in the employee table, then automatically it's get reflected in the department table. So such condition is written using on update cascade. So if manager SSN gets changed in the employee table, then automatically it gets changed in the department table also. So these conditions can be specified as part of the constraint definition itself using on delete, and on update. So on delete set default, on update cascade, or we can also write on delete cascade. So when we here in this particular place on delete set, the other options include set default, set null, cascade, restrict. So those four keywords can be used in this particular place. So when we use set default, then that particular attribute value will be set to default value. When we give set null, so then that particular attribute value will be set to null. Or if we write on delete cascade, then if an employee is deleted, then this particular row also gets deleted. On update, what we want we can write. So the actions will be deletion and updations. So when these two events occur, what we want to do with this particular row in the department table, so we can specify whether we want it to be null, default, or get deleted. So they are specified as in the action part of this definition. So in employee table also we can specify these referential integrity options. So here, so you can observe a new data type date, which we discussed yesterday. So can be declared like this. So birth date, date. So department number, integer, default one. So it indicates if we don't supply the department number for an employee, then by default one will be assigned. So for primary key. So foreign key. So foreign key is the department number references. So department of D number. Okay, like this. On delete set default. On update cascade. So if a particular department is deleted, then we have a default value for this department number. So department number of an employee will be set to 1. So if the department number gets altered, so on update cascade. So here also it gets changed. So we can define the constraints using these particular two keyword, that is check and domain. So domain means so it is the uh, a data type. So it is data type plus the condition. So condition, if we just want a condition, we can use a check keyword. So whenever I want to declaring a department number, so it can be specified like this. So department number, integer, not null. Then we will be checking whether the value I supply for the department is between 0 to 5. So department number greater than 0 and department number less than 5. So it indicates the department number value should be between 0 to 5. So the valid values will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if we supply any other value apart from 1, 2, 3, 4, then the DBMS will throw an error message stating that this particular constraint has been violated. So like that, an additional condition for the attribute values can be specified using check keyword. If we want to create a new domain, then we can use this particular command, that is create domain. So name of the domain, dn as integer not null, check dn it is greater than 0 and 10. So whatever what values we want in our application, we can supply it. So this creates a new data type along with the condition. And this particular dn can be used in our table creation when we are creating an attribute. So in place of int var char character data types, we can use this particular domain name as a data type itself. So if we are using this particular department number in 5 tables, so we can create one domain and use them in all our tables. So it is just like a user data type in normal programming languages. So denum dn. So these are the two keywords, so using which we can specify the constraints on a attribute values. Okay. So whatever we have discussed till now, so we will all be practicing them in our laboratory sessions. Okay. So for today's class, we can stop over here. So you can enter the attendance and exit.